can be fully displayed using only 2 views instead of the standard 3. So we have our part here. We are given the isometric view again. And again, this view tells me this is the front face, this is the top, and this is the right. We only need the front view because it gives us all this detail. And we need the top view because it gives me these holes. I cannot dimension to hidden lines, so the front view and the right view would not allow me to fully dimension these 2 holes. Again, we're sticking with the ANSI standard, and we're going to project it using the glass box or the bowl method. So if this is my front, I roll it up the side. This is my top view. And I do not need the right view because this view does not give me any extra information. It would give me a depth and a height, but I can get the height from the front and I can get the depth from the top, so right view is not needed. So to start, I'm going to start with the front view here and then project it up and do the top view up there. So it is 4.75 inches long. I'm going to start with all visible lines first. And I'm going to start, how tall is it? It is 1.75 inches. So I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to 4.75 with a break of 1 inch, 0.75 in. So I'm going to draw my line, 0.75, and then skip 1 inch, and then continue on to 4.75. Right there. So from there, I'm going to draw the height, go down 1 inch and over 2.5. We can assume this shelf is the same height as that one. So then I'm going to take a break for 1.5 and finish it off. So I'm going to drop down 1 inch here. And I'm going to come over here, a distance of 2.5, and then a 1.5 gap, so 1.5, and then a 75 distant shelf right here to there. And I add this line here. So again, I'm drawing all visible lines. This gap drops down 1.75. So I have my 1 inch right here. And I'm going to drop down another 7.5 right here. On both sides. 1.75. And this distance was already determined. It measures 1.75. So from there, we need to do this radius. So this radius is 0.5. Take my circle template. And I'm going to find my diameter of 1 inch. Right here. And I'm going to just line this up right here. My tangent edges, and complete it. So there is the completed front view with all visible lines. Next, I'm going to do the top view. So I'm going to project it straight up. So this is my front. I'm going to roll it up the side, and it's going to basically be a giant rectangle. So the rectangle with a height of 1.5 right here, and a length of 4.75. So I'm going to line up my ruler right here. I'm going to come straight up. And I'm going to put dimensions between them because that's what the contour rule says to do. So I'm going to come up here and draw a line that is 1.5 inches tall. 1.5 inches there. That was at 5.5. So I'll come over here, do that same line again from right here, 1.5, and this will give me the length of that 475 right here. So there are my two views. On the top view, I have additional visible lines for this radius. So I'm going to have two lines there, and I'm going to have these two holes visible. So these two lines can be projected straight up from my bottom view here. Or I could have measured it from the side here, which is that 0.75 measurement. So from there, I need to locate my holes. So my holes are 0.75, which is half of 1.5. So they're centered on this view. And they are over 0.375 for the center of that one, and 0.375 for the center of that one. And it looks like the diameter is 0.5. So I'm going to mark that 0.75 on my part right here. It would be right here and over here, 0.75. Then I can do my x-coordinates to find my centers. So 0.375 edit this out because of my 0.375 hole. Okay, so now I have my x-coordinate right here, which is 0.375. So I put my ruler here. I'll mark it on both sides right now since I'm here. So 0.375 is going to be right here. So that's the center of that hole. And then same deal over here. So I have my center points marked for my holes. I can then take my circle template, find my 1/2 inch hole. So diameter of 0.5 is right here, I believe. And I can draw my two holes. Line it up. There are my two holes. I believe that is all visible lines drawn. So from there, we're going to go do my hidden lines. Remember, all features that are not visible are still here. So I have this hole right here and this one for my front view. And my top view will get hidden lines for this bottom nub. Because it still exists, I still need to show it. So for those two holes, I'm going to project it straight down off of my top view here. And I'm going to do hidden line. Remember, hidden line is thinner than visible and it is equal dashes. From there, I'm going to do the hidden line for this feature up here. So again, I extend it straight off of this bottom view here. So that should be all hidden lines and visible lines. Next, we're going to do center lines and center marks. So remember, all circular features get a center line and a center mark. I'm going to do center lines first. Actually, I'm going to do center marks first, so then I can extend it to do the center lines, make life easier. So I'm going to do center marks for this hole first. So remember, it was a 1-inch diameter. So that means my center point is at a hash. Now for this hole, since it is not a complete circle, the only center mark portion that's needed is the very middle of it, and that's to make dimensioning a little easier and to show it is a circular feature. I do not need to add extensions to that feature. From there, I'm going to do these two holes up here. So there are my center marks. Next up, I'm going to do the extensions off of those center marks to complete them. There are my center marks. Now for center lines, I need to do center lines for all hidden features. So these two get center lines. And then since this is a circular feature, this will also get a center line. Remember, center line is long, short, long, and it extends past my part. And then for this one, it comes off of right here. And that completes all visible, hidden, center marks, and center lines. Now, we're going to go ahead and dimension it. So I'm going to start with the overall block dimensions. First, I'm going to do the overall width right here, the 475. I'm going to do it off of the top view. I could very easily do it with the front view. It's not much of a difference. So I have my extension lines that do not touch the part. And they locate the dimension. So those are my extension lines. Next, I have my dimension line right here. Goes across the part. I'll leave a gap for my dimension. And that measures 4.75 inches. Next, I'm going to dimension the overall height, and then I need a width, and that's it. So my height was 1.5. I'm going to put that right here, and I'll drag it out. I'm dragging them out so I can place other dimensions inside. So I'll go from here, don't touch the part. So those are my extension lines. This is my dimension line here with my arrowheads, and I'm going to make a little break in it. Throw my pencil around for that 1.5 inch right there. So after that, we are going to do the height down here of that 1.75. And it's a good idea to have a big eraser. So you come in, even up your lines, make it look nice. And this is 1.75. So I have the overall block dimensions placed now. Next up are going to be the holes. Well, let's do the features first. So I'm going to do this feature first. So I need a length from here to here and here to here. So I'll draw an extension line down here. I'll try to put them in line to make it look neater, but it's going to get me close down here. There is a thing such as over-dimensioning. So right now I'm placing these two dimensions, and I cannot place a third dimension right here because that would conflict with that 475. We do not want conflicting dimensions. So this distance was 2.5. And for some reason that's 3 decimal places, so that might be a more critical feature. It has to be a tighter tolerance according to our title block down here. This one was 1.50. Then I need a height for it. So I can squeeze in the height right here by sharing extension lines. And that height was 0.75. So that covers all those details. Next, I'm going to do holes. So I'm going to do hole locations first up here. I'll locate this hole to this hole, and then to the side, and then I'm going to do one height. The center lines are enough indication to show me they are on the same plane. I'm going to place this dimension below and above that. So right here, I'm going to delete this center line a little bit because I don't want to cross. Make sure your spacing between your dimensions are as even as you can to make it as clear as possible what's happening with the drawing. So that's 4 inches. Now I'm going to locate to the side right here. I can share this dimension line and just draw another arrow right here and indicate that that is 0.375. Next up, I'm going to put a height on it. So I'm going to place that dimension right here. And that was 0.75, so that should fit normally. All your dimensions should be the same height as far as the text goes. And then, so that fully defines location of those holes. Next, I need location of this hole, then diameters, and that'll complete it. So for locating this hole, I only need an X dimension because this center mark shows me it's in line, which means it is a half of a circle. So all I need is one dimension right here, coming up off of that center mark, but not touching it. An extension line over here. And then some dimension lines right here. show me where it goes, and that distance was 3.5. So all that's left are diameters for these two and the radius for that one. So I'm going to do radius first because it's easiest. I'm going to come off at an angle with the dimension line pointing towards the center. Then I'm going to go straight. Then I'm going to write it right here. I'm going to shorten this center line to make it look a little neater. And that is a radius of 0.5. So I did a radius versus a diameter because it's not a complete circle. Up here for these two, they're complete circles. So I'm going to come off at an angle off of the center there. I'll come up to here. Remember, if it has an arrowhead, it touches the feature. I'll do a straight line there. I'm going to write 2 times diameter of 0.5 through. So 2x diameter of 0.50 through. I cannot fit it on one line, so I put the through underneath. That's fine. All that is left here is to fill out the title block completely. So material would be an A. This is just a drafting practice, not applicable. Drawn by, I'm going to write my name, all capital letters. Date, I believe it's the 28th. Revision A. And that is completed.